Let's begin now.
You know, today, I just woke up and I
Like
said,
this.
instead of waiting on a good day, waiting around through ups and downs, waiting on something to happen, I just said,
we're gonna have a good day, and all my homies gonna ride today.
that's right.
And all these mommies look fly today, and all we wanna do is get by today. Hey, we're gonna have a good day, and ain't nobody gotta cry today. Cause ain't nobody gonna die today. You save that drama for another day. Hey, we're gonna have a good day.
Hairline fresh, new cologne on. Feeling so good, change the colors to my phone. Orange Kool-Aid, go good with Patron. Oh no, hell no, it's still my ringtone. Free car wash, had to clean up the Dodge. Give back when I can, just playing my part. Church folks had a fish fry, mustard, hot sauce, light bread, and french fries. Love for the big guy, hit the park, boys showing off the house.
I came on this gap year because I was at a point in my life where I was told that I had to know what I wanted to study for the next 4 years. And I just had no idea. So when this program came up where it was an opportunity to pretty much do what I thought I wanted to study at uni for a year and see if it's for me, whether you're doing drama or maths or history, it just having real world experience will let you know whether it's right for you or not, you know?
I actually heard about this gap year program through my brother who came here about 4 years ago, and he claims it was the best thing that he ever did. I knew that I wanted to travel, I wanted to try out new cultures and things in my gap year, so again this seemed like a fantastic idea. I will say, however, living and working here is very different to being here as a tourist, but I find being immersed in the culture an absolutely amazing experience. Another good thing is that working here means that I won't go to university having forgotten all that I ever learned at school.
Having spent 11 years in full-time education, I felt a need for some time out. An opportunity to travel Thailand and gain some work experience before I head off to university.
I chose to come to Bangkok for a number of reasons, but mainly because I want to go into education and teaching. I think this year was the thing that really boosted my application to Durham to study education. And it's been a really, really great experience, really wonderful. I work in the English department, so I spend a lot of my time planning and participating in lessons, which it's really great and I really enjoy it. One of the best things is that before I actually imagined that I would go into primary teaching, whereas now I'm sort of reconsidering that.
I'm working in the sports department at the international school. It's really great fun, the people are so welcoming. We've got a big department of about 12 people. We regularly meet up with football matches, cricket matches, and have social nights out at the weekends.
I mainly do practical work around the school, coaching, teaching lessons. I teach about 3 lessons a day. I can teach year 2 classes, year 1 classes, all the way right up to year 13. So I get to meet quite a lot of students and meet quite a lot of different teachers as well. After school, with after school activities, I have my own football team. I coach the under 11 Cs, which has been an interesting experience, but yeah, I coach rugby as well. I can do anything, tennis all the way to gymnastics.
It was weird teaching to begin with, having just been taught myself. I teach junior school music, which is largely practical work, so singing and using the percussion instruments. A lot of the kids were quite shy at first, but as they've got to know me and I've got to know them, they've really come out of their shells. It was also quite strange having to tell students off at first because they react in quite a peculiar way. So there's something like 12 smiles in Thai culture. So whether you're happy, sad, angry or confused, the Thai people just smile back at you. So when you're telling a student off and they smile back at you, it's quite disconcerting.
The kids here are actually really easy to work with. It's a British international school, so they all speak pretty good English. Admittedly some better than others, but you get what you get. I actually love being called Mr. Nick, which is what they always scream at me when I'm walking around school. But yeah, the kids are really easy to work with. They're so enthusiastic about their lessons and they just love it.
Despite working in the senior department and a primarily academic subject, I do get the opportunity to join U-Time activities. I can join anyone that I want to, and last term, and this term as well, I worked on a school magazine which is called Riverbank. I got to edit it all and write articles for it, and bring the students in so they could put in their own work as well. It was a really good experience, not really anything I'd done before, and inspired a bit of journalism in me. In January, there's also a week where the year 7s to the year 10s go on residential trips. Last week I went to Khao Yai National Park in the north. It was very basic accommodation, but it all added to the experience, and it was great to get to know the students on a personal level and be involved with all the activities as well as photographer for the week.
Another great thing about working with a school here is that they have just great facilities here. I mean, they have a gym, a gymnastics hall, 9 badminton courts, 4 squash courts, a running track, 400-meter run track, 3 tennis courts on the roof, which is quite interesting. And yeah, I mean, the 2 main tournaments here are BISAC and Fabicia. BISAC is mainly in Bangkok, which all the international schools compete in, and Fabicia is all around Asia, so schools from wherever, Vietnam, Cambodia, will all come compete. Last year it was held in Beijing, so you get to travel all around Asia, and it's just an amazing experience.
Doing such a practical subject as music, we find ourselves spending a lot of time working outside of the curriculum. So between us, I think we're involved in several choirs, an orchestra, jazz groups, wind ensembles, and then there's student-run projects and staff-run projects that we get invited to be involved in. So things like charity concerts, school concerts, assemblies. There's such a huge range of things to be involved in here. And actually earlier on in the year we were asked to help out with the drama department for the senior school production, which was a play called Shockheaded Peter, and they asked us to orchestrate all of the music for it. We underscored it, we had our own band, we got our own costumes, and I think that's going to be recorded and published or something, so that's pretty good for us as well, for long-term experience. It's great because there's so much for us to get involved in outside of our own departments in the school. I mean, every Wednesday I spend 4 hours working in the nursery, in the play group. Literally just working with the sweetest 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. We get to dress up with them, we get to sing songs with them, play games with them. And they barely speak any Thai, let alone English, so it's just so fun being able to play with them.
What I love about Shrewsbury International School is the collective enthusiasm for technology. There are entire classes taught on iPads, as technology is at the heart of all teaching here. This is great for me because I spend a lot of time in the iMac suite up here in the music department, composing and arranging for choir and orchestra.
The school is located right on the banks of the largest river in Bangkok, and so much so that you can literally walk right outside of the school gates and catch a river taxi to the BTS, which will take you right to the center of Bangkok, which is so convenient. Right after work, you go to Sukhumvit or the huge malls, whatever you need. Well, when we first got here, we would take taxis to work every single morning, and that's about 60 baht. But somebody told us about this little bus that the locals ride, 7 baht, and we added up the math, and over the course of a year, it saves us about 5,000 baht if we take it. So I try to catch those when I can.
Despite living in the middle of Bangkok, there is still a huge network of expats. With Shrewsbury School, it's actually a bit like the Shrewsbury School bubble at home in the UK. We have a similar thing here. At Bangkok Gardens, we're surrounded by members of staff who are always there to help us or give us advice on where to buy groceries, to which islands to visit. All of the members of staff have been really friendly and really helpful to us, and I just hope that we've done the same thing for them as well.
This is my first year at Shrewsbury International School, and I'm actually quite surprised at how involved the gappers are around the school. They're really important members of the community. Whether they come as music gappers or sports gappers, actually they get involved in pretty much everything, which is really important for them to get most out of the experience. But they do really contribute to the school, and they're great fun to have around.
So next year I'm going to be in charge of the GAP students, getting them placed into classes, year groups, departments, and also managing them to make sure they're behaving themselves, which is always an easy task because I have always found them to be very mature, professional young people and a great asset in the school, both inside the classroom and in all of the extracurricular activities that we have here.
If you come to help us in the junior school as a GAP student, there is a huge variety. You'll never know what you're going to be doing from day to day. So one day you may be dressed up as a bear, hiding in different parts of the school while our youngest students go on a bear hunt and try and find you. Other opportunities might be more educationally based, so helping students with their maths, with their reading, and perhaps with their English as well. So this is an incredible opportunity for you. If, for example, you have a specific interest in an area, then we could help you to pursue that. Or you just come, you have a wonderful time, and we challenge you daily with lots of different activities. But above all, it's great fun working with our wonderful students here at Shrewsbury in Bangkok.
There was a teacher here at Shrewsbury who actually put us in contact with the other Gappies from Harrow International School and Bromsgrove International School. It was an ex-student of his, so we all met up for drinks and we all just clicked instantly. There's about 15 of us and we all go out every weekend. We do whatever, we go travelling, and yeah, we really hope this link continues next year if we can.
We're actually really lucky having all of us Gappers here together to help each other out. To be honest, I barely spoke to most of them when I was at school, but now we're here together, it's just so much fun. I mean, we're essentially 18-year-olds living on our own in Bangkok, having to be independent, which on the one hand is kind of terrifying, but it's also just so much fun.
I arrived in Bangkok a little bit later than the other gap year students, and so I thought I might have to deal with my own personal culture crisis when I came out. However, they were all very, very welcoming, and I felt part of the group from day one. It was strange having to deal with the language barriers as well, but we do feel that we're picking it up, slowly. We might even be fluent before the year is out.
We live in the Bangkok Garden apartments. They're really great. We've got 2 40-inch TVs, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, kitchen, balcony, big living area.
Living in the flats and sharing with the girls is amazing. It's great having the independence, and having the boys living just upstairs makes me feel like I'm living in an episode of Friends.
The complex itself has 2 pools, sauna, restaurant, a gym, beautiful gardens, play area, basketball court and 2 5-side football courts.
We're actually living in the biggest private gardens in Bangkok.
On our street opposite the Bangkok Gardens there are 3 mini supermarkets including 7-Eleven. There's a Starbucks, Subway, spas, restaurants, cafes, bubble tea shops.
We live very centrally. We're only a 20-minute BTS ride from Central Plaza, where you can find all the shopping malls, cinemas and attractions.
And the best bit about all of it is that it's all paid for by the school.
Bangkok is the #1 tourist destination in the world for 2013.
Bangkok has everything. One of the things I really love is the markets. We have Chatuchak, which is the biggest weekend market in the world, I think. Just open air and huge tiny little soys. You can get anything there. It's very cheap, very authentic. But I mean, other than that, there's hundreds of shopping malls, there's ice rinks, there's even Safari World. You can go elephant trekking, tiger cuddling, skydiving if you want. I think that the key to living in Bangkok is to just be spontaneous. You know, just get in a taxi and go somewhere.
Food here, absolutely amazing. It's ridiculously cheap as well. You can have dinner for about 50p or cheaper for any of the street stands. They offer wide varieties, different flavours and many different nationalities. I managed to eat a different meal every single night my first week here, and I think I even managed to eat a scorpion.
Being a GAP student here, we earn about 12,000 baht a month, which is roughly £250. It may not sound much, but here in Thailand it really goes a long way. Everything here is really cheap, which is great for us, but you have to be careful because you can keep spending and spending and it does build up. But we've all learned to economise over time. If you want to travel, just like anywhere, you're going to have to save some money, but that's fine because street food is really, really cheap, so you won't be going hungry. So I guess this is really good preparation for uni and life beyond that.
Well, we've all seen Hangover 2. Bangkok is infamous for its nightlife. Although none of us have woken up with face tattoos yet, you just have to remember to be careful because you're in a foreign country, you know? And whether we go to karaoke bars on a Friday night with the staff members or you're going for a quiet drink on a rooftop bar, you really just can't get bored in this city.
There's so many places in Bangkok you can go. There's cheap places, expensive places, bars, restaurants, karaoke, clubs, whatever you want. There's always something for everyone.
Having lived in rural mid-Wales for the past 18 years of my life, coming out and experiencing the Bangkok nightlife has been the most incredible experience. I mean, I have to say A highlight for me would probably be the Sky Bars, which is literally a bar on the top of a building, just on the roof of a building. I mean, you can imagine what it's like being 64 floors up, you know, glass in hand, looking out over the Bangkok skyline. It's honestly breathtaking.
It's been so great seeing Thailand outside of Bangkok. Thai culture really is a world away from what we're used to. It's got everything that the UK doesn't, so nice beaches, huge mountains, jungles and temples. Temples everywhere.
The school here runs on the British term system, which means that we get nice long holidays. We can just pop to an island over a weekend or something if we like to. And this Easter holiday, a group of us are actually going to go backpacking for 2 weeks around Vietnam.
We are living in the hub of Southeast Asia. We've already been up to the north of Thailand to see Chiang Mai and Pai. You know, some of us have gone down to visit the islands in the south. I've been to Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Bali, the Philippines. We have trips planned for Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Burma, Nepal. It's like the perfect launch pad for anywhere in Southeast Asia.
Another great aspect of having the apartments here is that we become a kind of stop-off for a lot of our friends passing through on their gap years. So despite the fact that we're 6,000 miles away from home, you actually find yourself seeing quite a few familiar faces.
I'd just like to add my endorsement to the Shrewsbury School Gap Year programme here at the sister school in Bangkok. This is my 9th year now, and we've had a series of absolutely fabulous young people from Shrewsbury in the UK. Originally it was boys only, but more recently we've had boys and girls, and that's been a wonderful addition to the programme. In essence, the programme is both safe and secure. You're coming to an environment which has a wonderful relationship with your home school, and yet on the other hand it provides the most remarkable challenge in that you are living and working in a professional environment where the very highest standards are expected of you. And if you would like to put yourself to the test in that way, particularly if you have an interest in education, possibly in becoming a teacher one day yourself, I think this gap year possibility might be something well worth looking at. I think, as you will see from the other footage and from conversations with other GAP students, there is also the added benefit of some of the most remarkable world travel that you will ever experience. And if you want to add that element to the year before you start your undergraduate days, well, again, we can guarantee you the most exciting of travel opportunities. So if you're thinking of that period of time before heading off to university and you're looking for something which gives you a year-long trajectory where there is a balance of real excitement and testing your own mettle, as well as cementing that relationship between Shrewsbury UK and Shrewsbury Bangkok, well, we'd love to hear from you.
Man, I'm loving BG. And all my homies wanna ride today. And all these mommies look fly today. And all we wanna do is get by today. Hey,
we can lose touch, but we can let go. Doing what God made from Lego. All the vows called your name. Keep your estate clean of me. I feel like you so many times this week. Close eyes open, cause I can't forget to fall asleep. The dark seeks dark. The dark seeks dark. Ooh, darker.
It's really funny you should mention that because it really reminds me of this time on my gap year.